Hi friends, I'm Scott Giles, a certified consulting hypnotist and a life coach. And every Saturday afternoon at 2:30 Central Time, I make a short 5 or 10-minute video on some aspect of life coaching or the hypnotic arts and sciences. Today I want to talk about kindness and about why our brains are hardwired not to see kindness in our environment. Now, in my practice here in Wheaton, Illinois, I see private clients from my home office, which I'm in now. I maintain a research program and have for 28 years at Amita LaGrange Memorial Hospital. And that's the program for cancer patients that we've demonstrated that adding hypnosis to conventional cancer care produces a significant improvement in outcome and quality of life. Also, I do 4 free clinics in an arc around Chicago, in Palatine, in Hinsdale, at Everett Hospital in Naperville, Little Company and Mary Hospital in Evergreen Park, Chicago. These clinics open to cancer patients and their caregivers all have a particular topic that we explore in that session. And my topic for June 2019 has been hidden acts of kindness. So I thought it would be good to just use this video as a way of kind of making a record of what we covered in that program. The human brain evolved to protect us from threats. As far as we can tell, when the human community harnessed fire and developed clothing, our bodies stopped evolving. Other than changes in the skeletal system due to better nutrition and that sort of thing, we basically have the same body that people in the late Stone Age had. Our nervous system was therefore evolved to deal with the pressures of a Neolithic campsite, wild animals, attacking tribes, that sort of thing. Very simple social stressors. But in our world, our social evolution has evolved way beyond that. And stress has become epidemic because our nervous system was never evolved to be able to cope with the stresses that we live under today. Because one of the primary functions of the brain is to keep us safe, it at baseline, it is subconscious functioning, scans the environment for potential threats. Because that's what you need if you're trying to stay safe. When it identifies something it perceives as a potential threat, it exaggerates that threat to get our attention so that we may avoid the threat. Positive things in our environment, however, don't have the same value in terms of our survival. And so our brain is much more likely to look past them, to overlook them, because they don't contribute to potential dangers. So at this point in evolution, all of us look at the world through a smoke-colored pair of eyeglasses. Our brain puts a negative spin, our neurophysiology puts a negative spin on all incoming inputs and exaggerates the importance of any perceived threat. So no wonder we're walking around highly stressed. It's almost like what Dr. Herbert Benson calls a hidden plague. Stress-related diseases or diseases that have a stress-related component are escalating, and all of us, depression and anxiety have become virtually epidemic as well. The result is that we don't see the good stuff. We don't see the acts of kindness that are everywhere around us because we're too busy exaggerating the threats and potential dangers. This is destructive to our well-being. NPR recently published an article about a study started in Finland that went worldwide, where sociologists took wallets and put cash in them, originally $13 US equivalent, but then later escalating to like $100+. And they dropped these wallets around in random locations. Now the thought was that people would not return the wallets or would in fact return them minus the money. But that isn't what happened. They distributed a total of 17,000 wallets with money in it. And what they found is if the wallet had money, people were more likely to turn it in. with the money intact. And in fact, the more money the wallet had, the more likely it was that people would turn the wallet into its rightful owner. Perhaps because they thought that, if this were me, I would want the wallet back, or perhaps it was some sort of altruism, or the higher amounts of money felt more like stealing. But in 38 out of 40 developed countries, including the US, Canada, and Great Britain, the more money the wallet had, the more likely it was to be returned. Now, that's counterintuitive for a lot of people who think that people are just out for themselves and they want to take advantage. The point being that people are not out always for themselves, and they're not always interested in taking advantage, but we don't perceive that because of the neurological hardwiring of our physiology. We exaggerate the threat. We exaggerate the negative mental attitude. We exaggerate the skepticism about the welfare and good intentions and good-heartedness of people everywhere. To correct such an overwhelming neurophysiological program as the tendency to exaggerate threats for survival reasons, we have to adopt a positive self-discipline. You have to work at it. You're trying to overcome baseline and default functionings of your body, and that's not going to happen by accident, and it's not going to happen easy. You have to develop some kind of a positive discipline, meditation, like loving kindness meditation or metta meditation. Self-hypnosis from a benevolent perspective can be helpful. Or things like anchors. Anchors are a term that's used within hypnotism as a physical object that promotes a psychological response. I've talked about my gratitude rock, a rock I have on my bedside table or desk, and I touch it at the end of each day. What am I grateful for what's happened in the day? And in the morning, I touch it again to remember that. And also, when I touch it, I ask about, what good things did I see today? What positive inputs can I give my brain? And there always are some. And in the morning, I recall those as well. You can have anchors for anything. I wear biker jewelry because once upon a time I was a biker. I'm not anymore. But it was a very good time for me to have a band of brothers that were very helpful in my own evolution. And every day I put on my wallet chain and my cross ring, I remember those days. That's an anchor calling me back to that positive mindset. So you can create anchors yourself as a discipline to remember good things, the acts of kindness and generosity that you see, the things you're grateful for. And once you start doing this sort of thing, it kind of becomes contagious. And it ripples out in what Doctors David and Herbert Spiegel call the ripple effect. It begins to influence other things in your life, and all of your thoughts and perceptions become more positive. At my clinic today at Edward Hospital, one of the participants showed up a beautiful bracelet. I think it was jade. And she said whenever she's feeling bad, she starts counting the stones on that bracelet as if it were a rosary. And each time a blessing, something she's grateful for, to get her thoughts adjusted in a positive direction. Doing things like that, smart. As my favorite time management guru, David Allen, said, your brain does not have a brain. You have to be smarter than your brain. We have to understand that we journey through this world of space and time with a flawed neurophysiological apparatus, a brain not really well evolved for the stresses we face. And therefore, we have to do things to compensate for that, to get ourselves in the proper groove, and to maintain a proper, healthy, and realistic attitude. Just like those people returning the wallets. People are better than we often think, but it's the trick of the brain that we think cynically about them instead of nobly. Thank you for your time and attention. I'll be back next week at the corresponding time, and I'll be talking about coming back from failure, something we all need to do. So if you're curious about my work, please feel free to reach out to me either by email or messenger. or phone, or through my website. And when I edit this, and I'll put it up on my YouTube channel, the website will appear at the end of this video. But thank you for your attention, and you have a great day.